When you first start a profile on Hypixel SkyBlock, the first thing that you're prompted to do is immediately start fishing. The only problem with that is fishing in early game fucking sucks, bro. Luckily, there is a way to automate that, and one of the most highly debated things is which fishing minion is better, clay minions or fish minions. However, recently, with the introduction of the Lotus Atoll, we did get a third fishing minion, that being, if I could find it, that being the Lily Pad Minion. So in today's video, we're going to be going over all three fishing minions, which one makes the most money, which one makes the most fishing XP, and overall, which do I think is best for you to put on your island right now, especially with the upcoming Marina Mare. Before we continue, if you do enjoy my content and want to see more videos just like this one, please make sure to subscribe, like, or comment. I do respond to every single comment I get, and if you want to help me beat my goal of surpassing my other YouTube channel and subscribers, that would be awesome. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at all the crafting materials and find out which minion is actually the cheapest to get to tier 11. So for our regular fishing minion, to get to fishing minion tier 4, you're going to need 960 raw cod, and then to get all the way up to tier 10, you need 992 enchanted raw cod, and then finally to get to tier 11, you do need 8 enchanted cooked cod, which all comes out to be 592,752 coins for the raw cod, about 1.1 million coins for the enchanted cod, and about 1.2 million coins for the enchanted cooked cod, or roughly about 2,952,743 coins. Then moving on to clay, to get to clay minion tier 4, you need 1,072 regular clay balls, and then to get all the way to clay minion 11, you need 1,016 enchanted clay balls. 1,072 clay balls comes out to about 29,000 coins, and 1,016 enchanted clay balls comes out to about 535,000. And after adding that up, we get 564,031 coins, which is significantly cheaper than the almost 3 million coins that the fish minion cost. And last but not least, we do have the Lily Pad Minion, which to get to tier 4, you need 960 normal lily pads. To get to tier 10, you need 1,000 enchanted lily pads. And finally, to get to tier 11, you need 8 condensed lily pads. For 960 lily pads, you are going to need 108,000 coins. For 1,000 enchanted lily pads, you are going to need 18.1 million coins. And finally, for 8 condensed lily pads, you are going to need about 25.83 million coins. Now, looking at my very professional diagram here, we do have Lily Pad Minions at a whopping 43,703,131 coins, which is much more expensive than both our clay and fishing minions. Now, the setup that I'm going to be using is the kind of like basic minion setup: Enchanted Lava Bucket, Enchanted Hopper, Diamond Spreading, Super Compactor 3000, and a medium storage. I'm not expecting to use the Enchanted Hopper or the medium storage, mainly because I'm only going to be running these minions for about 24 hours, and there's no way that they're going to fill up in that amount of time. They're really just there as like a backup in case, you know, something goes wrong. So I just went ahead and collected all 3 of the minions, so that way there's no kind of unfair advantage. Once again, our fishing minion is about 2.9 million coins, our clay minion is about 564,000 coins, and our Lily Pad Minion is 43 million coins. It is currently about 10 p.m. where I'm at, so I will see you all tomorrow at 10 p.m. Really quickly, before I show you the results, I do want to go over a few things before we get into like the nitty gritty. Obviously, I am showing you bazaar pricing, which fluctuates because it's a stock market basically. And Lily Pad minions have actually been getting cheaper and cheaper. When the Lotus Atoll first dropped, lily pads were crazy expensive, but now they are starting to even out, and I would expect lily pads to drop even more. So this minion might be half the price of what it's worth right now. Along with that, I am using diamond spreading on each of these minions. And the reason for that is because diamond spreading is literally free money, and that is one thing that I want to get into when talking about this. Diamond spreading is incredibly cheap, and the amount of value it gives on these minions, especially clay minions, is absurd, and I definitely think it should be taken into account when calculating costs. Obviously, we will also be going over only the raw materials, but I do want to add in diamond spreading just because it is so cheap and it's so worth it, and anybody can put it on any minion. Get diamond spreading, bro. So we are back one day later. It is 9:30. It's not 10, but there is a fishing festival starting in 22 minutes, and I want to do that. So deal with it, man. I don't know what to tell you. One thing I do want to quickly mention though is it is currently Mare Marina. Like I said, there's a fishing festival, so we do have that 50 fishing wisdom buff. That won't necessarily affect like which one makes more fishing XP, but it will change the like rates, right? So if you're using these minions in about 2 weeks from now when Marina isn't Mare, it's not going to make as much fishing XP, but hopefully I can post this before Marina leaves, and then you can like capitalize on that buff, you know, fingers crossed if Kuda's gonna fucking edit. Okay, so starting with our fishing minion, we are going to be at fishing 59. Where's my piece of paper? All right, let's go ahead and collect our fishing minion here. Then we are gonna go ahead and collect our clay minion. And finally, we're gonna go ahead and collect our Lily Pad Minion. Okay, going back to my very professional calculator, we can look at my overflow XP and find out how much XP each minion made after collecting it. So after 24 hours, or 23 hours and 30 minutes, whatever, the fish minion made 3,438 fishing XP, the clay minion made 2,271 XP, and the lily pad minion made 4,158 XP. So after adding that to all of the signs, we can clearly see that our lily pad minion, even though it is incredibly expensive, is going to make the most fishing XP out of all three of these fishing minions. Now, before we go into how much money each minion made, we're going to go over the collections of each of them. So starting off with the hefty one, we got our fishing minion, which makes a total of 1,761 raw cod a day, 744 salmon a day, 383 pufferfish a day, 172 prismarine shards a day, 169 prismarine crystals a day, 328 sponge a day, and 122 tropical fish a day. Now, obviously, fishing minions are completely like RNG based. This is just what I got from 24 hours, so the numbers may vary. And then our clay minion made 14,328 clay. And then finally, our lily pad minion made 3,279 lily pads. And then looking here, our fish minion made 2 enchanted diamonds, our clay minion made 8, almost 9 enchanted diamonds, and then our lily pad minion made 2 enchanted diamonds as well. Now finally, we are going to go ahead and sell these items to Bazaar. So starting with our fish minion, we are going to go ahead and sell this for insta sell for about 46,000 coins. And then moving on to the diamonds, you get an extra 2.5k, bringing the total of the fish minion up to 48,150 coins per day. Moving on to our clay minion, we're going to go ahead and sell this. Clay sells for about 40,557, and then adding on those enchanted diamonds, we're going to get an extra 10,000, which is 51,428 coins per day. And finally, for our lily pads, not going to sell these diamonds. It's going to mess everything up. Selling these, we get 305,000 coins. And then selling these 2 extra diamonds, you get an extra 2.5k, bringing lily pads up to 307,803 coins per day. So in conclusion, our lily pad minion, even though it is the most expensive by a large margin, is going to be making the most fishing XP and coins per day. However, if you're looking for more budget fishing XP, you can go ahead and get the fish minion, as it is much cheaper than the lily pad minion, although it does not make as much coins as the clay minion. So even though the clay minion makes less XP per day than the fish minion, it does make more coins. Now, if at any point you want to see these rates again, you are more than welcome to come see my island. I will be leaving this little display up for a little bit, or if you think that my test was bad and you want to do it yourself, go ahead and do the test for yourself. This was just a quick 24-hour test finding out which minion was better. And we'll quickly go over the pros and cons of each minion. The fishing minion, obviously, the big pro is that it's going to make a lot of fishing XP for kind of a budget. But on top of that, it's going to max out a lot of these fishing collections very quickly. Now, the benefit of having the lily pad minion, even though it is so freaking expensive, is it is going to make the most fishing XP, which in this case, if you're a low fishing level and have the money, go ahead and set these up. Even if it's not a full setup of them, put up a few, you'll be making decent money along the way. And the reality is the clay minion, it's old reliable. You know what I mean? It's super cheap to set up. It still makes pretty decent fishing XP, about half of what the Lily Pad Minion makes, but it also still makes pretty decent money, more than the Fish Minion does. One thing I forgot to mention is Lily Pad collection is super important right now, and I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they did just change a bunch of the drops. Lily pads are not as accessible as they used to be, and this is how you get things like the Rod of Legends, which is how you craft the Rod of the Sea, stuff like that. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Obviously, this is some more kind of short form content, but I think it's very important to test minions like this, especially when we get a new high tier minion like the Lily Pad Minion. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, comment, or subscribe. I do respond to every single comment I get. This has been Kuda. Remember, wear your texture packs, and also subscribe for plus 3% magic fine.
Boy, I go with he feeling kinda thirsty. Sipping on this yellow and it really got me tipsy. Try to get a grip and now that baby tryna grip me. Hit her with my finger, now she getting kinda sticky. Say he wanna fight, but I'll just hit her with that 50.